All right, here we go. Ghostrunner on the Xbox One X review, and I was lucky enough. Well, I wouldn't say I was lucky enough. I just stayed up. Excuse any yawning that I might do during this review. It is currently 5:42 in the morning, but I wanted to get this review done and out of the way because I have another review coming up very, very, very quickly, and I didn't want to get sandwiched between two reviews. That would have really, really, really sucked for me. So Ghostrunner on the Xbox One X, a PEGI 16 game, developed 505 Games. You can grab the digital price for $24.99. I couldn't find any physical copies or any sort of collector's editions or anything like that around Shop2 or Argos or Game or anything like that. I don't know if it's a digital only game, and I think it probably is. But a massive shout out to John Doe yet again for sponsoring the stream, because he donated the game for review purposes. So thank you very much, JD. I greatly appreciate that. The game's only 6.7 gig large, and that alone is a massive surprise with the amount of content that I played within the game itself. It took me over 11 hours straight from start to finish to do a full-on playthrough. And I have a lot more to talk about, but we'll do the review analysis first, just like we do with any other review. I've already got the template loaded up, and if you're a regular of mine, you already know what we're going to aim for. And the very first thing that I love to talk about in my reviews is the choice of music and the audio. The soundtrack to this game is utterly amazing. Every single level, from start to finish, had me energized, had me pumped, had me wanting to keep going, and it just kept pushing me on and on and on and on and on. There is nothing negative that I can say about this soundtrack. It is very cyberpunk-like, if that helps. It's very upbeat. It's very like, I wouldn't say dubstep. If any of my community can help me sum up the music in a word, I think cyberpunk is the best word for this soundtrack. It is absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. It's breathtaking to listen to, and honest to God, this is a soundtrack that I would be more than happy to listen to outside of playing this game. Maybe if I'm just playing Apex, or maybe if I'm working on the PC, I would love to sit there and listen to the soundtrack. So 10 out of 10, 5-star, whatever you want to say it, the highest rating possible. This soundtrack earns it, full stop. The audio effects within the game are fantastic. The sword audio, the blaster audio, the guns audio. I can't fault the audio. I can't actually fault anything audio-wise in this game. I can't fault it. Even the voice acting was really, really, really well done. I wish there was more dialogue. More dialogue to help explain what was going on within the game, because throughout the 11 hours of playing this game, I still don't know the story off by heart, or what exactly was going on. I got pieces of it, but we'll talk about that when we reach to the story breakdown. Graphics, texturing, and any weather effects. So graphically, again, just bear in mind that this game is 6.7 gig large. Graphically, this game was stunning. The colors were rich, vibrant, and bright, and neon, and beautiful. So this is a futuristic game, so it's set quite far in the future itself, and the lighting, the neon lights that they use, and the color effects, even the sword. You had different camos for the sword, and they all looked. Most of them looked breathtaking to look at, and they gave off a really wicked, ambient vibe to them. That might not be the right word. I've probably chosen the wrong word. They just looked really good. They just looked really, 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 really good. Character model design, any glitches and bugs. Now, we had some texturing glitches. Two throughout the whole review. Two of them. One really minor, and one quite obvious. I'm guessing they can easily just do a patch to fix the sky texture that we saw, but it was flickering rapidly and it looked really bad. It's nothing major, but it is something that they should comb over, patch it, boom. Other than that, I didn't really encounter any other types of bugs. I mean, that we did have a game. Technically, we had to restart a whole level all over again because we got black screened. The interface was there, but everything else was black, and we had to reload the whole level just to fix that bug. That itself, never good enough. I was actually pretty annoyed with that because I was very far into a level, and then I got hit with the black screen and I had to redo it, and I just got really frustrated and annoyed because that level was quite tough. I did get stuck in some textures as well because this game is very Mirror's Edge like, lots of parkouring, hook shotting, running along walls and stuff like that, and I would get stuck into certain textures. I think the level designs should have been tweaked to prevent that as much as possible. And there is so much wall bouncing, and it's so rapid and it's so fast paced that you will shoot yourself off a ledge. You'll shoot yourself off one of the runways that you're trying to run across, and then end up getting stuck in a wall or getting stuck in a corner. And I just think that they should have put just a tiny bit more effort to make sure that the character doesn't fall into those sort of boundaries. And it happens quite a lot in this game. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It happens quite a lot. And I was pretty disappointed that they allowed something like that to be a thing. Because sometimes when you missed your jump, you'd fall down and then you get stuck in a texture, and then you'd have to run off and kill yourself just so you can respawn back out here. But I have to say that the respawning in this game is phenomenally fast. It's pretty much just a blink of the eye. You die, blink, boom, you're back at your checkpoint. You die, blink, boom, you're back at your checkpoint again. And I have to give them props for how quick that is. There is no loading screens between you dying and you respawning back at checkpoint, and I think that is absolutely spot on. I have to give them credits for it, because some games where, I mean, I've played a bit of Mirror's Edge, I have, and I've played a bit of other parkouring games as well. When you die, game has to put you into a checkpoint system. You have to load in, and then you see the screen. I've never seen it being done as fast as this before. I never have. So I have to give them props for that. The character models designs were amazing. Some of the creatures that were chasing me around, they freaked me out quite a bit. They really, really, really did. I have to give them props for the boss fights as well. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil it because my reviews are always spoiler free. But two of the boss fights itself, the characters were well designed. The arenas that you fight them in, they were really well designed as well. But I have a little bit to say about one of the boss fights, which we'll come to in a minute. Gameplay, there were no weather effects, from my knowledge. Just trying to think. You were outside quite a bit. I mean, you did see puddles of water, but it wasn't like you had no rain, no thunder, no lightning or anything like that. No sunny days, no good scenery, no good ambient backgrounds or anything like that. So weather effects are irrelevant. It doesn't apply in this review from what I remember of the 11 hours of playing it. Gameplay mechanics. Gameplay, it's fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun, very addicting, and like I said, I was playing for 11 hours straight, and it was fun all the way. But the mechanics get very repetitive in a lot of the areas of the game itself, and it gets frustrating fast. If you're a type of person that rage quits at games because you die like 100 times, probably avoid this game. You may break something or someone, because in some levels I was dying up to 100 times in one level, trying to do a stupid wall bounce from side to side to get to the end. And the mechanics don't don't work a lot. I found that it didn't work a lot of the time. Where I was trying to hone into a wall, run along it, hone into another wall, run along that one, and repeat that process about 20 times. Sometimes your character just wouldn't dash when they were supposed to dash. Sometimes they wouldn't wall run when they were supposed to wall run. Sometimes they just launched themselves flying for no apparent reason when you jump off of a rail. Conveyor belt thing, which I had fun doing those. I really did, but it's just some of the mechanics are a bit iffy, and it's apparent as well. It's not like, oh, it's once in a blue moon. No, it's apparent. And something that irritated the hell out of me is the control scheme. The control scheme that they start you off with is called something bumper, and it makes you utilize both bumpers and triggers at the exact same time. So you can't play, like that and use two fingers. You need 4 fingers up there coordinating with each other. And I'm telling you right now, it was chaos. I went into the options and saw that they had a control scheme. And when I went through the control scheme, there was one control scheme called default. And classic. It was called classic, and it wasn't the main one that was set up. So when I switched to classic, it became a million times easier. And it kind of baffles me why they wouldn't set up the classic mode for people to use over every other control scheme that don't work as well. Well, then again, that's just my opinion. You may end up buying the game and you may end up using it on that control scheme, and you might be an excellent pro parkourer in this game. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it to save my life. I was dying all the time. I was pushing the wrong bumper buttons all the time, and it was a miserable experience. As soon as I changed it to classic controller scheme, it was perfect. Obviously, I kept messing up a lot, but it was still far better than what it was. Replayability and game difficulty. Replayability, it is definitely there. There are collectibles that you can find around the game. You've got artifacts that you can look for, and you've got sound recorders to find, which is basically just a voice recording of one of the characters within the game itself. And you've got sword skins to find as well. So three collectibles: sword skins, artifacts, and voice recordings. And if you can find each one of them, you get the achievement as well. So you get the achievement for all the voice recordings, you get achievement for all the artifacts, and you get an achievement for all the weapon skins. And if you've done all of that, you also get a bonus achievement for doing all the collectibles as well, which is pretty decent. So replayability is definitely there. 100% definitely there. Difficulty, this game is ridiculously hard. I am not even going to sugarcoat it. I'm actually going to just quickly double check that there isn't actually a difficulty option in this game, because I found this game very hard to play. And I do like my hard games. I love my Dark Souls series. I love any sort of Soulsborne game series itself. I love that stuff. But this game just took the difficulty on a whole painful new level. So it's like I said before, if you rage at difficult games, you're probably gonna break something. You probably are. I'm just bear with me. I'm just checking to see if there is a Why am I having so much issues going to the options in this game? Thank you. Display, video, crouch. I don't want to actually switch it over because then I'll get copyrighted for the music. Vibration control scheme. No. Play. New game. No. There's no difficulty option in this game. There isn't. So, good luck. If you play this, good luck. You're gonna fucking need it. Because it gets very hard very quickly. Any customizations and stat building. Now, this is something I loved. As you play throughout the game, your what's the right word? Your plug-in board opens up. You start off with a small amount of plugs that you can put into your plug-in board. All the rest are locked. And once you've got space, you can move the plugs into the board and arrange them like a Tetris game. I loved that. I don't know why. I think it's because it reminded me immediately of Tetris, because they were all shaped like Tetris and they were all bright neon colors like Tetris as well. And I freaking loved that. I have to say that by far, with the soundtrack, is something that I enjoyed over the top. It really, 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 really done the game for me. And they're color coded for a certain trait that you're looking for. So if you want to be better at certain skills, you can go for that specific color and maximize your character around that ability, doing the best that you can with that ability. And you can customize it in any way that you want as well. You can have it whichever talents that you want. As long as you fit them together nicely like a jigsaw piece, you can get more abilities in your tree before it fills out. But I found that a fantastic little thing. It might be a small thing for them, but to me it meant quite a lot, and I really enjoyed it. But in terms of customizing, the only thing that you really get to customize is your sword's camo skin. That's really it. You can't customize your character. You can't customize his outfit. You can't change anything other than that, really. It's just the sword. Story, if applicable. Now this is going to be the hardest one for me, because 11 hours of playing this game and I didn't understand a lot of it. I really didn't. And it's not often that I don't understand a game that I'm playing. I just think that the game could have done a far better job to explain what was going on. And the easiest way it could have done that is cutscenes. Dialogue, cutscenes. Give us some actual animations to sit back and enjoy and watch, and fill us in with what's going on. You see 2 in the whole game. 2 cutscenes in the entire game that are animated that you get to sit back and watch. One of them is the ending. So it's a massive missed opportunity there, because I really do want to enjoy I did want to enjoy the story. I wanted to find out more about Jack, aka the Ghostrunner. And like I said, I'm not going to spoil it, but if I was to give you a percentage out of 100 of what I understood in the story, I would be in like the 30% margin, maybe 40% margin. Because a lot of this game just went straight over my head. And I feel that it's the game's responsibility to ensure that the player knows what's going on. And if the game doesn't do that in one playthrough, then the game has failed. That's just my opinion. If I play any story game and I have to play it more than once to understand what is going on in the story, then the game has failed to captivate me in the story. But we're all different. We all understand and analyze and we all get stories in a different way. Some of us are easy clickers, some of us are not as easy clickers. And like I said, I play a lot of games, a hell of a lot of games. And this game in particular just didn't do a good enough job explaining what was going on within the story. And I think they could have just done a better job by chucking in some cutscenes so we could sit back and watch some of the story play out with the characters and the NPCs that you're speaking with, and I think it would do a better job. But that's just me. Online co-op modes, features, and online stability. Not applicable. All of that, none of that is not applicable. There is no online, there's no modes, there's no features, there's no stability. From what I saw, I went into all the options and I couldn't see anything to do with online. So that's all void and irrelevant. Purchase price versus digital price and value of content. The game's £25. Do I feel value of content is there? 100%. 100%. Yes. This game has got a lot of content to get through. No matter how good you are at the game, it's going to take you a while to get through it all, especially if you want all the trophies or the achievements, and especially if you want to experience the full game and all the abilities 100%. It's going to take you maybe even 2 playthroughs. But you're going to redo some of the levels because you won't be able to find everything 100% all the time. I couldn't find one skin. I spent over an hour looking for one sword skin and I couldn't find it. So that'll be something I might have to even YouTube just to figure out where the damn skin is. So, purchase price, 25 quid, spot on. Value of content, 100%. 100%. I can't fault the pricing of this game at all. I really can't. Microtransactions, I didn't see any. I went into the store, looked at the game, didn't see anything. So, thank God. Because no one likes microtransactions. no one likes microtransactions at all. Any additional notes taken, and then recommendation and scoring. So let me shut down that because I don't need that anymore. Force level progression, I'm never a fan of. I'm never, ever a fan of level progression, force level progression. You've got amazing checkpoints in this game. If the player wants to run back through the level to try and find something, let them do it. In my honest opinion, it will just allow them to enjoy the game more. It will. Instead of having to reload the level and start right from the very beginning all over again because you didn't allow them to backtrack. Backtracking is good, in my opinion. And it's also more time that the player is playing the game. So I would suggest allowing them to backtrack if they need be. But that's just, again, my opinion. The game does allow you to level select at the main menu. So if you speed through the game and you specifically want to focus on certain levels to get the rest of the collectibles, the game allows you to do that. Love that. Absolutely love that. Now, if you consider this game, I don't know, there is no game difficulty in itself, and the NPC's aiming is godlike. It's frustrating as hell. Even when you are using your blink ability to dodge projectiles, which are then coming at you in slow motion, the NPCs are turning faster. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I even done it on stream to show the NPCs were moving quicker, even when I was in slow-mo mode. And that infuriated me a lot, because I was trying to get around certain enemies to kill them, because some enemies you can only kill them from behind. And that just irritated me a lot. When you're dodging bullets, everything in the world should be slowing down. Especially when that's the point of the ability. You're using a slow-mo ability to dodge incoming projectiles, yet the enemies can still move at normal speed. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It really doesn't. It actually kills the vibe on a lot of the levels that you're trying to navigate through, because the enemies shooting you is unrealistically amazing. It's like Call of Duty wall hacking. It's that bad. It really is that bad. And there is a certain NPC that you meet midway in the game that basically has a 100% hit chance on you if you're standing in the open for more than 2 seconds. It's boom, dead, boom, dead, boom, dead. And it really will get frustrating. I think this is something that's very important. The game runs on a one-hit death system. So if you get tapped by any form of damage, you're dead. There is no difficulty. Bear this in mind. There's no easy mode, no normal mode, no hard mode. If you get hit, you're dead. Straight back to a checkpoint. And it's rinse and repeat over and over and over again. I think, just my opinion, I think they should have had 2 difficulties. Normal, hard. I think hard mode should be the one-hit kill mode, which is basically what it is right now. But I think there should be a normal difficulty to allow people that aren't as good around these type of games to give them a chance at actually playing throughout the game. And I think the easiest system that you can install would be like a 3-strike system, 3 hit points. Unless obviously they fall to their death, then that's c'est la vie. But give people a chance to play your game who aren't as skilled at these games. Give them 3 hit points at least. And if you want to help them a little bit more, put breakable crates around the game that they can break and top up their hit points. Just so they don't have to run through, the majority of the game with 1 HP. But this, I know I repeat this a lot, but I do get people saying, "Oh, I disagree with you." This is just my opinion, though. This is just my opinion. If you give a normal player who's not as skilled at parkouring and wall jumping and dodging bullets and all that lot more chances to get through the game, they will stick to it more and not get frustrated and not walk away from it. If the player walks away from the game and doesn't want to play it anymore because they're so frustrated, your game fails again, because your game, the game should keep players invested. It should keep them and hold on to them. And having 2 difficulty options may increase gamers staying on this game because they've got more hit points and they won't die as much. But my opinion, of course. Puzzles require thinking. There's a few puzzles in the game. I'm not going to lie. There's a few puzzles in the game, and you're going to have to think. If you're not a good thinker, then sorry. Sorry. The game breaking bug we've already spoken about. Tetris we've already spoken about. Destructible environments would have been nice. Yes, it would have been nice. You're running around with a really sharp sword. And the only thing in this game that you can do any damage to is just the NPCs. You can't break doors down, you can't break through walls, you can't break crates, you can't break tubes or anything like that. You can't do it. I think that's a missed opportunity. I do. It would have been nice to put some breakables in. It would have been. Because, I like breaking stuff. Lack of game cutscenes. We've already spoken about that. The cutscenes could have been used to help explain the story more for people who were unfamiliar with the story or struggled to understand what was going on. Already spoken about that as well. Soundtrack is by far the best thing about the game. We've already said that. The jumping needs to be on point at times or you'll fly off the edges. And again, we've already spoken about that. That's pretty much everything I've written down. Everything. And then achievements that we actually gained, 19 out of 34. I do try to get as many achievements as I possibly can do in one playthrough. So I'm happy with 19 out of 34. I'm happy with that. So all it boils down to right now is, would I recommend this game and what rating would I give it out of 10? I would recommend this game. I would. I think the game is pretty awesome. And the soundtrack, man, my god, the soundtrack is so good. For the pricing and for the content, yes, I would recommend it. I wouldn't recommend this game to people who struggle with hand and eye coordination, if they're quite slow at doing things, because they're going to struggle at this game so badly. And I wouldn't want them to do that. I would want them to enjoy the game, not sit there and rage. But if you think you're a parkour master, if you're a massive fan of games like this, like Mirror's Edge as well, then this game will test you and push you through your limits. Please don't break anything. But if I was to give it a scoring out of 10, I have to take things into consideration that would increase or deduct the scoring. The game works. The game is completable. The game is very enjoyable, very rage-inducing. But the texture flickerings and the black screen of death, I'm going to call it, should never be a thing. Ever be a thing. So that is an automatic point straight off the game itself. It really is. There should be a difficulty option in this game to allow people who struggle at games like this to get through the story. And there should have been more cutscenes. There should have been loads of cutscenes. This game looks so good. Where's the cutscenes, man? In those cutscenes, you could have helped explain the story as well. And that's one thing I really wanted to do. So, if I'm being honest with it, I'm happy giving Ghostrunner a 7 out of 10. I think the game could have been better. I think the game could have been more easy to understand. But that's down to the story writers and the development of the game. I just think that they could have done a little bit better with it. But 7 out of 10 is still a very good scoring. And I'm happy ending this review at that. Thank you guys.